Live from Rob's basement, it's Friday Night Live!
With a piece of toast! Garmin Archer! A hole in the wall where the men can see it all! And returning for this 25th consecutive season, Bobby Moynihan!
And of course, Paul Lynn!
How's it going, everybody? Friday night, what's going on? Breaking news, we actually like The Mandalorian.
And nobody gives a shit.
Ford, nobody cares. Ford versus Ferrari opens at 2.1 million in previews.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Joker broke $1 million, though. We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yes, Nickelodeon getting ready to survive the streaming war with and as they say, war makes strange bedfellows, and much, much more. With me as always, Mr. Tom Connors. Oh, Eddie Murphy again. Yeah, Eddie Murphy. That's right. Baby Hills Cop 4.
I told you I'd be back.
Is it if to impersonate somebody who's not?
I don't care what you say, if it's ist or if it's not ist. All I give a shit about is it funny. If it's funny, then it's all right.
That's right. And joining us, as always, is your favorite YouTuber, B. She's an Emmy, an ESPY, a Tony, a Bammy, a BAFTA, an Oscar, a PhD, and a PhD, an MD.
And I love that.
Lover of Baby Yodas.
Squish his face.
Miss Mekaranda. Okay.
You know what I got stuck into watching?
Oh, I
got sucked into watching, and it reminded me of Mecca. There's this lady who's got a Malamute mixed with a husky, and it reminds me of my dog in some ways. And the little thing's not little, it's big. He's got a fucking attitude, and he'll sit there and talk, and she'll put like subtitles on it, and it's hilarious. It's so stupid, it's funny. It's like, yeah, I could love this. But anyway, Rob, you were saying.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
You probably have.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mecca, you'd love it if not. But yeah, what you're saying, Rob, you were saying something.
Well, I got a question for the audience. Has anybody yet played Jedi Fallen Order?
I watched a little bit of it last night.
I want to know how that is.
The ladies are going to talk about it. I know that because a lot of them have been playing it for Geeks and Gamers and stuff like that. We'll see. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. I don't have no fucking money.
Yeah, I have a Steam account if anyone wants to gift it to me. That's about the only way I'll play it.
We've been wanting to do the Star Trek game thing for a while, and we'll talk a little bit of Star Trek later on. But first, let's kick it off, Rob. We've got this Joker business.
Joker biznatch.
Joker business. The Joker is in a elite club now, as you can say, $1 billion club.
That's right. That's right.
You could read the story.
Joker. Nope, that's wrong. He scored 132 points a game. Man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Record? I thought you were here to talk about basketball. Man, I done my time. I paid my debt to society. All right, I'll put on happy. It's Joker, yes. Joker cha-ching at the box office. Joker takes home $1 billion. Pardon me. The box office, as the comic book film becomes the first R-rated movie to reach epic figure. Joker has earned $1 billion at the box office today. The critically acclaimed film reached the figure. $1 billion. Nearly 7 weeks after its premiere, according to Forbes. The Joker will also have the honor of being the first rated R film to make $1 billion at the box office. More than 40 films.
So does that mean Joker's bigger than Jesus now?
No. What did Passion of the Christ do?
That was the one that was number one until this, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Number one
Okay,
R-rated
domestic-
film.
Past that.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Domestically, domestically, the film, which was made on $62.5 million budget, has brought in $316.692 million domestically. Unlike Aquaman, $1.148 billion, and Spider-Man: Far From Home, $1.13 billion. Joker will successfully pass the $1 billion mark without help from audiences in China. So, what is this? So, let me just ask you: what does this say about the importance of the Chinese market?
Here's the thing with the Chinese market, and we've said this before. It only brings in money in certain respects. And that is it brings in investors. Okay. So it's not really that big of a deal that this movie didn't open up over there. They're going to invest in other things because this movie was so big. You know, that was why it was such a big deal when Paramount lost their Chinese investor deal. Because we've brought this up too before, Rob. They don't really see that much money on return over there in China. What they do get is the merchandising, I think, a little bit more, and other deals and stuff that come in, and that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. The I'm insane. Well, the Chinese, they only get we lost Tom.
But he'll be
Tom?
back.
Yeah.
He probably had to drop out and come back to set up voice meter.
Yeah, it sounds like a mushroom. It always pops up. There's Tom. You were saying you're saying you're like a mushroom.
What happened?
You're like
Now
a
we hear
mushroom. You
that.
always pop.
Okay, now you can hear me. See, I was doing sound effects before, nobody can hear it. It's pointless. Anyway, I interrupted. What were you saying?
I said that the Chinese market only brings in maybe 25 cents on the dollar.
And that is in like probably best case scenarios, because we heard in most cases it's like 10%, and that's if they're even the one making the deal in the other countries, because there's other situations where they'll pre-sell a movie overseas to other countries, so they won't get shit out of it other than what they made up front, which generally just covers the cost of the movie. Like Child's Play, for instance. There's less of a chance we'll see a sequel to that, mainly because it only did so well here in the US, and unless it did really well on video and on demand shit, you know, on digital or whatever, because overseas they pre-sold it, so they didn't see any of that money.
Really?
Same thing with Terminator. The same thing. It's a typical thing, and we'll get into that when we get into the next portion of this discussion later on with the Paramount deal. But yeah, with the Joker, they did the same thing with this. I think they're kind of pissy because they co-finance this film with another company that's seeing a lot of the profit.
Okay, well, let's continue on with the story. In fact, if Joker passes Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight at $1.0005 billion, starring the late Heath Ledger, then it'll be the biggest grossing movie ever not to play in China. Joker may have divided the critics with a 69% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's currently the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Vincent D'Onofrio, Jessica Chastain, Mark Hamill, Aaron Eckhart, and Josh Brolin were among the actors championing Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar-worthy performance as Arthur Fleck. Phoenix, Joaquin Bottom. Okay, well, I can see why you changed the name to Joaquin Phoenix. Was previously nominated for a supporting actor Oscar for Gladiator in 2000, and a leading actor Oscar for Walk the Line and The Master in 2012. The actor has previously hinted he'd be interested in reprising the role for a potential sequel. I wouldn't just do a sequel just because the first movie is successful. That's ridiculous, Joaquin told the Los Angeles Times earlier this month. In the second or third week of shooting, I was like, Todd, can you start working on a sequel? There's way too much to explore. It was kind of in jest, but not really.
Can I try my Joaquin Phoenix impression?
Absolutely.
What was the line again? Line.
There's way too. Can we start working on a sequel?
Hey Todd, can we start working on a sequel? That was a pretty good Joaquin Phoenix. 'Cause that's what he kind of talks like when he's not playing a character. He just.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Of course.
I'd say that's about as
I don't remember what he sounds like. I gotta try and figure out what
He's got like this really kind of like.
You don't really know what he sounds. He's just not very distinctive, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
All the time. He sounds like he's constantly going through puberty, but not as bad as Michael J. Fox. And he's got a sadness to his voice. I don't know. I'm always doing impressions. I'm stupid.
Well, okay. To Tom's credit, Tom does a much better Eddie Murphy than I do.
I do the best Eddie Murphy. I'd like to see somebody challenge my Eddie Murphy. I can do Delirious from beginning to end. I'm not kidding. I could probably do Raw too.
I only do one Eddie Murphy, and that's the hey
Eddie Murphy.
I don't know. That's
I'm Gumby, damn it.
you do. I probably do a better.
You do a better Chris Rock though.
I probably do. Yeah. Yeah, I can do better than Chris. I don't want to do right.
You got to add a to your Chris Rock. He does the old Richard Pryor little laugh. Yeah, that's all the only thing you're really missing. You know, he does that. It's hard to do it, but yeah. Anyway, we're way off topic here. Gotcha, bitch. There we go.
So, but let me just say that. And this doesn't. I'm gonna let my inner conspiracy theorist out. They tried, by they I mean the blue check marks on Twitter and the Access Media, which I include people like IndieWire, Daily Collider, the Mary Sue. They are the ones, the Sci-Fi Wire. They are the ones who fall under the Access Media. They did everything they could to derail this movie. And you failed miserably. And I'm glad you failed. Nobody's watching. To hell with it.
Nobody's watching anyway. To hell with it. You can't say shit.
To hell with it.
That's a major league joke. Anyway, yeah, you're right. The Access Media and, you know, I don't even know if like the SJWs knew which side they were supposed to be on with this movie. They were confused, and you know, you also had the other aspect of it where it couldn't just go out and say, yeah, it's just some, you know, pro-Trump, you know.
No, because it really wasn't. And that was the thing. It did its job as appealing to as many people as it possibly could, so that the people couldn't really get super offended by anything. Like I had one writer trying to complain that it was a white guy, but then he disproved his own argument in his article because he's like, oh yeah, which it needed to be. It's like, well, there you go. There, you couldn't have done the character as a not white guy according to your own article. So these anytime they would get on social media, they just wanted to complain because that's their job. Their job is just to be offended, because other than that, they have nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean,
call them the outrage industrial company.
Yeah, and even Rob got that little leak, which was technically true ahead of time about the whole Trump stuff. But you know what they did? They managed to show every side of everything in a fair manner. You had the social commentary on him losing his health care and how that interacted with this, and how the people seen Thomas Wayne as this Trumpian type, you know, and then at the same time you kind of had, you had the other side of it too, because you had a little bit of misrepresentation on the media's part when it came to Thomas Wayne, because they went and took his clown, you know, comment and ran with it like, you know, the media does with shit when somebody says something stupid and they misinterpreted it and all that kind of crap. And then you had the other side of it where you could say there's the Antifa and that kind of stuff. And then, you know, it could be looked at just like the protesters in other ways too. There were so many different sides to this movie, and it's a movie that I think we're going to definitely dissect a little bit more on the main channel. But you're trying to pipe in there, Rob, but you're really quiet.
Well, I'm really quiet. Let me try moving closer to the mic. Moving closer. How's that? Better?
Yes.
Better? Yeah, I got to move
Yes.
closer to the mic.
A little bit.
Okay.
But I
Well, what this does. Well, I don't know. Sometimes freaking.
Yeah, I just have to go in and change my volume every time I
think
turn off the
Windows
computer.
is screwy. I have the same problem. I'm probably pretty quiet.
Windows 10 is screwy. You have to reset the volume every so often, but boost the gain a little bit here in voice meter. But one of the things is, though, this shows you that you can do social commentary in a movie and not have it be the typical Orange Man bad or a preachy kind of crap that we're getting. You can do social commentary. This is the kind of social. And Tom, full disclosure, I still haven't seen it, but for everything Tom and Mecca have described of it, is that and actually Robert Meyer Burnett said, you're making a movie about a guy losing his health care and needing mental health counseling in 2019. Who knew that was going to be a hit? But the thing is, you take those things and you humanize them, and as you said, you present every side. You can do social commentary. We're not saying don't do social commentary. You can do politics. We're not, but you know what? Just beating me over the head with the Orange Man bad. Okay, I'm not a fan of the Orange Man myself. But even after a while, I'm just like, shut up already. We get it. I'm the audience you want to. I'm a Bernie Sanders voter. Okay, I'm the audience you probably want to reach. But you have to know how to do it. Nobody wants to be. If you're going to preach, you do it in church. Okay, people? Sister Harrow, $5 Australian. Roxy J on her stream said Collider stream numbers are gone down a lot. Like a lot. They're worried you get what you deserve. Well, ours kind of went down too.
Yeah, me too.
Phelan reacts. If Trump wins the next presidency, the SHWs are going to lose their minds again. But you see, the whole thing is they're fighting.
They're the ones that the problem. They're the ones who are making more people who are a little undecided, go out there and say, fuck you guys. I'm just sick of your bitching. That's what they're doing.
Both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Both sides, and I don't want to get
need to shut the fuck up. Yeah, both sides.
Both sides need to know what the hell they're talking about. Okay, because on the one side, you have the guys that are, oh, well, I'm going to vote for Trump to trigger the libs. Okay, fine. You vote for Trump to trigger the libs. Okay, what the hell difference does that make? You still have your air. You're still breathing polluted air. You have no health insurance, and your kid can't go to afford a college, and you're still going to lose your job. And the guys on the other side, diversity. Okay, you know what? Shut up, because all right, you make a white superhero black. You still have no health care. You're still losing your job. You're still breathing polluted air, and you don't have clean drinking water. Okay,
there's your stand-up act, Rob.
So both sides need to figure out what the fuck is important to them.
Money.
I'm done.
That, Rob, put that in your act. That is better than anything you have. No, that's like some of your best stuff.
I'm like, Dave Sheen said to me one time, that I'm one of those type of people who can just get away with going up and wing it. And sometimes both sides annoy the hell out of me too.
Oh, me too.
They really do.
And you're exactly right. Nobody wants to be preached to, and that's kind of the point of everything. Is nobody wants to sit there and be preached to told what to think and what to do, especially if you're somebody who agrees with that person. It's like, shut up. What are you attacking me for? I agree with you, you motherfucker. That's what I always get on Twitter and shit. They're like, oh, you're this or you're that. I'm like, you're an idiot.
And I wish I had every single writer from the Mary Sue in one room and just tell them to all shut their bitchy little faces.
They're bitches. They're little cunts. I hate those women. They are stupid, and they just have their little hate takes. just to attack people, like the girl on Batwoman. Okay, so we had the Batwoman casting, sort of related DC-ish. They have changed Alfred's daughter, Julia, whatever, back to a white character.
Okay.
So they're getting mad that they've whitewashed a character that was blackwashed.
Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. And like, well, okay, right now you're just bitching because of racism. That's all this is. That is clearly racism.
Of all the battles you want to fight, that's the hill you're going to die on. You know what? It's something it's something they can't change, so they bitch about it. Look at me! I'm fighting. I'm taking up a cause and nobody else is. Shut up!
That might be the only way they get clicks too, because seriously, who the crap cared about the casting of a character on a show that nobody likes?
Yeah,
so that'd be the only way. And I think that's another thing I've heard is a lot of these authors don't even believe what they say. They only do that just to get their clicks.
Thundercats ho. I don't know if America uses this phrase, but the UK we always say put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, we use that one too. Yeah, a lot of times we'll use so suck on that. Well, sometimes we'll say that. Yeah, we have a bunch of different sayings like that. So, Clone Captain Blast. I love when Rob ranted. It's music to my mind. Thank you. After years of my own family telling me to shut up, I'm glad somebody appreciates this. All right. Well,
shut up, Rob. Just kidding.
You tell. Did you ever see Night Shift or see the movie Night Shift?
No.
No, you ever seen Night Shift? Henry Winkler, Michael Keaton. Keaton's first.
No.
Oh, it's classic. He says, he's Michael Keaton's going on about his weird inventions. He says, he has an idea to feed mayonnaise to dolphins.
Didn't Ron Howard direct that, or who directed that?
Yeah, Ron Howard's his first film.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What if you mix mayonnaise right in a can with a tuna? Wait a minute, take live tuna fish and feed it mayonnaise. Paul Starkis. And then Henry Winkler just gets fed up with him. I wish he would just stop talking. Are you telling me to shut up? I'm telling you to shut up. He gets his tape recorder. Hello, this is Chuck to remind Bill to shut up. And he's just playing it over and over again. So,
it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it is actually. Two guys two guys become pimps and they run out of the morgue.
Didn't somebody else is involved in that too? Didn't Ivan Reitman or something like that? Right? Who wrote it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. Somebody, I thought it had more pedigree attached to it than that, but yeah, somebody else wrote it too. That I think is. I can't remember who now. Damn it. But anyway, back to the Joker. I can't say that I'm totally surprised that it's reached the billion, but I am. I mean, in a way, Clint Howard was in that. Of course, Clint Howard was in that. He's just about everyone.
Yeah, of course, Clint Howard is in it. Clint, of course he's in it. Then you drive around the moor, and he played Michael Keaton's character would play Jumpin' Jack Flash, no matter where he was. Nah, 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 nah. Dude, he was sounding like Cheech. Do, Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Clint Howard, fucking
Clint Howard, national treasure, friend of the show.
Keep it edgy, kids.
That guy. I don't think it's on YouTube. I don't think Night Shift. Oh yeah, it's on. Yeah, Night Shift. Yeah, $2.99. Has anyone actually rented a movie from YouTube Movies?
No, I'll watch them when they're free because they'll cycle out which one's free here and there.
Well, if you get a chance to watch Night Shift, Henry Winkler, Michael Keaton, and directed by Ron Howard, very good. And Shelley Long is also in it. And Shelley Long had a nice ass back in the day.
Is this where we're supposed to scold you for your toxic masculinity?
Yeah, probably. Oh, jeez. Let's talk about this. Well, this is the first bit of this news. Paramount makes a deal with Netflix to bring Beverly Hills Cop 4 and possibly Beverly Hills Cop 5 to Netflix. Tell us a little bit about this, Rob.
No, you got to read it as Eddie Murphy.
Hey, man, I'm going to Netflix. Netflix has nabbed the rights to the sequel to Beverly Hills Cop. That's my movie. A movie that deepens the relationship between the streaming giant and myself. My new comedy, Dolomite Is My Name, which is currently showing on the platform. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Earning the actor, that's me, some of the best reviews of his career. Well, the film will see him reprise. That's me. See, it's too confusing. It's confusing for me to try and read it. I think you need to read it, Rob.
I'm trying to pull it up. Hang on.
That's what she said.
Yeah. That's what Bond said, right? I've never had that problem before.
Oh God. Erectile dysfunction Bond.
Erectile
Dolomite Is
dysfunction.
My Name is really good.
We got learning disabled Spock and erectile dysfunction.
New screen name. Erectile dysfunction Bond.
Christian
Funnier than
Garcia,
it
if
could've
there was
been.
any talks of a 48 hours sequel, it probably got nixed because they couldn't get Nick Nolte out of the chair. He's probably like, I can't get out of the damn chair.
I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I ain't your partner, I ain't your friend, and I sure as fuck ain't your babysitter. Read the script.
Is Nick Nolte in a is he in a wheelchair? Is he infirmed?
I don't know. He's just fat and old now. No, he hasn't really acted much. He just does voices and shit.
Netflix has now the rights to make a sequel to Beverly Hills Cop, a move that deepens the relationship between the streaming giant and Eddie Murphy. Is that right, Ed? Murphy's new comedy, Dolomite Is My Name, is currently showing on the platform, earning the actor some of the best reviews of his career. The film will see him reprise his role as Axel Foley. A street-smart Detroit cop who finds himself transplanted to the Tony streets of Beverly Hills. The first two films in the series were huge hits, though 1994's Beverly Hills Cop 3 was a commercial and critical disappointment. Paramount released all three previous films, but is licensing the rights to Netflix. Bob Bakish, CEO of Paramount's parent company, Viacom, and then the two are getting back together, confirmed the move during a call with analysts on Thursday. The studio still is in the Eddie Murphy business. It will release Coming to America 2, a sequel to the hit 1988 comedy Coming to America in 2020. Paramount had tried for years to get a follow-up to Beverly Hills Cop off the ground, and at one point even considering launching a television series. Jerry Bruckheimer will produce the sequel for Paramount. The move comes when follow-ups and reboots to aging properties such as Terminator, The Shining, Men in Black, and Shaft have fallen flat at the theatrical box office. The deal also enables Netflix to produce one more sequel. Paramount will retain the rights to the underlying intellectual property and the first three movies. And there's actually I just want to say there's a picture here of Jennifer Aniston on the sidebar. And how does she must bathe in the blood of virgins, because she still looks really good for someone who's 50.
You're getting distracted, Rob.
I know I am.
Jeez, like you need to get laid or something, man.
Okay. What does this move mean? Well, this means that Paramount is hedging its bet.
They're tits up, aren't they?
Not really. They actually came out ahead this last year. They're going to have their first profit in years. But it's not because they made such great moves per se, as they've scaled back, and they were probably able to curb a lot of their losses on Terminator by getting other people involved.
They're using other people's money, in other words.
Yeah, what this does is put money in their pocket, Netflix money, especially if Coming to America 2 does really well next year, which I don't know because it's rated PG-13. We'll see. But it does have quite the cast involved. Come to America. Yes, fuck you too.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you, pal.
I was at a march in Montgomery, Alabama. Somebody hit me in my chest. I looked over, Dr. King. Dr. King, what you doing? Punch me in my chest. I thought you were somebody else.
That no Dr. Martin Luther King.
Shut up. I didn't do me, Martin Luther King. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Have a seat.
Who next?
John Landis directed that one though. But yeah, the thing is the guy who directed Dolomite is directing Coming to America 2. So I think Robert Meyer Burnett is onto something when he thinks that, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he'll probably be on board to direct Beverly Hills Cop 4. It'll probably be the perfect fit considering the situation. The funny thing about this though is it's going to be hard for me not to think about seeing a Beverly Hills Cop movie on the big screen. And it'll be Bruckheimer coming back to the series since Beverly Hills Cop 2 as well.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I mean, part of the reason why I think a lot of this failed is because a lot of these older properties are failing is because guys like you and me don't want to go to movies anymore. You know? I mean, if you have it on Netflix...
Oh, yeah. Who the fuck wants to go and have like some asshole shining their cell phone in your face, right?
Yeah, the older crowd who these nostalgia properties are going to appeal to don't want to go to the movies unless it's.
You're right. I think you're right to a point, but the problem here is Rambo probably should have went to Netflix. You know, instead of trying to do that in theaters. Beverly Hills Cop, on the other hand, because of Beverly Hills Cop 3, people forget how fucking big Beverly Hills Cop was. It was the movie that turned around and beat Ghostbusters when the receipts all came back in, and nobody could fucking believe it.
Eddie Murphy was the biggest star on the planet.
He could do anything he fucking wanted at Paramount. He was their golden boy. He had his own little cart. He could go anywhere he wanted, say whatever he could do anything. And everything he touched just about turned to gold. Now, there was a few things here and there that didn't. Ironically, The Golden Child is one of them. But, you know, it was just one of those things at that time. Yeah. Yeah, but there was nobody bigger on the planet in the 80s than Eddie Murphy. So the thing is for this to do like this, to go straight to Netflix, almost brings a weird tear to my eye because it's just like,
it's the end of the movies.
Not so much that as just like, did Eddie Murphy's star fall that far? Because this guy at one time was the biggest star on the planet, bigger than Stallone, bigger than Sylvester or Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, arguably, you know, between Beverly Hills Cop 2, 48 Hours, Trading Places, and Coming to America in the 80s alone. I mean, who else has a slate like that you can just, and that's not even counting his movies that didn't do as well as those. I mean, you were tough pulling Harrison Ford maybe, but even he didn't do as big as shit other than the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, well, I could think of one person who's had a bigger slate than that.
Ben Shakira.
That's right, Ben Shakira.
He doesn't count.
He doesn't?
Not in this case.
Well,
my name's Bender.
Not even him?
I went on a bender. No, I'm just kidding. But no, so I mean, I'm glad that this is going to happen. I know it's going to be like probably 2 years before we see this movie because Coming to America 2 doesn't even come out till next year. So they're just in the early process of this yet. But it'll probably come together pretty quick if Netflix has the money and the money gets pumped into it. And the way Murphy's been talking, he's ready to jump right into it right after he's done with Coming to America 2, which is wrapping up. So
he's trying to make it. I think he's really set for a huge comeback.
Yeah, it's about time.
Well, he did his apology thing. He did, you know, everything he needed to do. So it's like, oh, okay, he's trying to make a huge comeback. So
I just don't want a plethora of dad jokes.
Yeah.
I just this is when you know sex is a lot different when you're married because the end result could be kids. You know, the end result will be kids anyway. But you know, now you have to see him.
Yeah, because I just don't want him turning into a kind of semi-raunchy Bill Cosby. That'd suck.
See, got the boogies and the wuggas and the boogie. I wrote a joke actually about Bill Cosby. You know, Bill Cosby. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. Who knew Bill Cosby was really? It was all this time. He's really Glenn Quagmire. See, you put the roofie in the drinky, and you drink and giggity googity giggity googity googity giggity googity. Bill, Camille said, "Well, Bill, where have you been? I've been giggity googity googity giggity." So, oh well. Matt G, $2 super chat. That's.
I put it too soon. I'd say that's probably too late. But anyway, it might work.
Remember what George Carlin said when he said, "Don't let anybody shout too late, and punish those who do." So, all right, next topic.
We got a Fatal J in the chat.
Fatal J, the Fatal J, or is it an imposter Fatal J?
No, it's the real one.
Yeah.
But my hopes for Beverly Hills Cop 4 is we get the entire cast back. A real solid script. Eddie coming out with all cylinders firing.
I want him to go on tour. I want him to go on a stand-up tour.
He's gonna do it after Beverly Hills Cop 4. That's his plan.
I heard of that. Remember the video I think you and I did together.
He was playing the Garden. He was playing all like freaking Joe Louis Arena. I mean, the former, he was the biggest name. They're selling out arenas all over the country. He was supposed to do a show. He was supposed to do a show in my town, but there was a riot at a rap show like a couple weeks before, and the police and the city and the police pulled the permit. I was like, "Oh, you mother!"
He was like a fucking rock star back then.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I was gonna go. I was all set. I had tickets, and the city had to pull the permit, huh?
Dirty bastards. Because he's from over that way. He's from Jersey, but there's more to this. This keeps feeding into itself, and I think you guys will start to see the pattern here as we lead into a conclusion. You read the title right. Nickelodeon stuff is going to Netflix, folks. Let me see if I can get you the link to this, Rob.
Now, wasn't our good buddy Alex and I as a writer Kurtzman doing some show for Nickelodeon?
Yes, he was.
Lawless Teens.
Oh God! Oh, there was that one. No, that wasn't the Nickelodeon show. Oh yeah, that was the Lawless Teens. Was the Nickelodeon show?
Yes, it was. Now, here's
does that have a series order or not?
The Nickelodeon, yes, because they're paying for it. The one that doesn't so far is the CBS All Access one, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But here is the Nickelodeon signs a deal with, and all this news, the Beverly Hills Cop news, the news about Bob Backish doing well with Paramount. They're actually having a good year. All dropped within 24 to 48 hours of Disney Plus's huge opening day. With 10 million subscribers.
I'm sure Redstone is going to be in charge of the whole shooting match over at Viacom pretty soon.
I say that because it's going to become more and more important as we go along here. But anyway, let's start with this, Rob, before we get too deep.
Well, I got something to say about.
Can I make a psychic prediction? CBS All Access, 1 year to live.
Shh, I'll get there.
I want to be psychic though.
Netflix signs deal with Nickelodeon to compete with Disney Plus. As we said, the streaming war makes strange bedfellows in the wake of Disney Plus's launch. And okay, just want to say,
did you say the streaming war?
Yeah, the stream
begun. The streaming war has.
I put way too much work into that for not to use it.
Yoda Kitty.
But
Baby Yoda.
Where? Yoda? There's no Baby Yoda in this story.
We'll get
In the wake of the Disney launch, Netflix made its next move. They signed a multi-year deal with Nickelodeon, and together the two will produce original animated content extended from Nickelodeon's own vault of characters. Oh, does that mean we get new Ren and Stimpy?
Only if it's Christopher Lucy involved.
What happened with John Christopher Lucy?
I think it was some Me Too something, or he did something.
Yeah, something with an intern or something or other back in the day.
Well, anyway, In their press release on the matter, Netflix stated Nickelodeon and Netflix today announced that they have formed a new multi-year output deal to produce original animated feature films and television series based on both the Nickelodeon library of characters as well as all new IP for kids and families around the world. This move probably makes sense to Netflix subscribers who watched the streaming service launch a series such as Invader Zim, Enter the Flow, and Rocco's Modern Life, Static Cling. They have both promised a delivery on a reimagined live-action version of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they are collaborating on the release of the original specials related to the new Nickelodeon shows, The Loud House and Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's not so good.
But if you'll recall, along with this Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deal, they have been talking about a live-action adult-oriented show going where, Rob?
Ooh.
You'll remember Netflix. Continuing to get more and more like Paramount's like, fuck, we need to get in this game. And CBS All Access just ain't got the fucking viewers to hold on to Nickelodeon now, does it?
No.
Because they just merged. Don't you think that they would want all that kind of stuff on CBS All Access? Wouldn't that make sense to make CBS All Access viable, to put all the Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, all that kind of stuff on there?
In the words of Ed McMahon, you are correct, sir.
I think Netflix is going to eat CBS All Access like an appetizer.
Actually, let's there's some mention of CBS All Access here, but this does not seem to be a long-term solution for Netflix, as the veteran streaming service is undoubtedly absorbing the lion's share of the production costs. The content produced between them also must be original content, with the VRV-supported Nick Splat streaming service playing host to all of the nostalgia-rich classic cartoon content for just $6 a month. On top of that, Nickelodeon is owned by Viacom, which is currently seeing a merger with CBS, which has CBS All Access. And
this is not going to work. Oh, continue, Rob. Sorry.
Well, and that streaming service can speak for itself. No, it can't.
Nickelodeon is not big enough to compete on its own. I'm sorry. Nickelodeon needs to fit in somewhere like Netflix where it can be infused.
That's right.
And the same thing's going to happen. This is not going to live on very long. And
no, what's going to happen?
Doesn't have the viewers.
No, what'll probably happen is you'll have like Warner and Nickelodeon and all those merged together. You remember you had like Disney and you had WB and that stuff. So you're going to have pretty much a couple of different things to choose from. It'll be like Android versus iTunes. You know, you'll have
I don't know
Netflix.
if Warner will be joining anyway because they're with AT&T now, so they're big.
Oh,
when their shit drops here pretty soon, I think it's in March. Their shit's gonna drop, and it's gonna be a huge. And you watch, they're gonna have 5 times the shit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, do you think? Okay, so do you think they're gonna swallow Netflix then? It'll be Disney versus Warner.
Netflix is in trouble. Netflix is in big fucking trouble because the thing is, first of all, they were smart. They're calling it HBO Max. They're not calling it Warner Streaming. They're not calling it AT&T Streaming. They're not calling it some fucking name nobody knows. Everybody knows HBO. And HBO already has like 20 million subscribers to their service. So once these all merge and shit and it all comes together, it's going to be a beautiful thing for them. And not only that, you're going to get probably all of the big classic Warner movies you know of, all the classic New Line movies, all the Warner cartoons, the Looney Tunes probably, all this classic shit, and it's going to make Disney Plus look like a dwarf because they've got more. And that's the thing. People don't realize. People always talk about Disney having this monopoly on something. And I haven't even got to the DC shit yet, Rob, because that's got its own streaming service, but that's going to get swallowed up by HBO Max. You watch.
That's dead.
I'm not sure. Tom, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I recently paid a visit to CBS All Access, and they didn't look good. So, oh no, that's just tragic.
That's not
Because I
bad.
think in the future, are there plans for Disney Plus to have like all of the ABC content on there?
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually, once all of the that's the problem Disney Plus has with starting their shit now. And even though they were thinking somewhat ahead, they weren't thinking enough ahead to think we need to end our licenses with these other streaming services by such and such a date. That's why it seems so sparse in some areas. See, and that's where the Warner streaming service is going to have it up. And then you got Paramount and Sony who are teaming up with Netflix because otherwise they're not going to survive.
I wonder if they pushed this ahead just to make sure that Star Wars was on good enough terms with a lot of people with Mandalorian. I wonder if this like got just pushed
It could
ahead
be
a little.
because I
too
wasn't
ahead of
aware
schedule.
until just a little bit ago from Mr. H that there's a lot of places like Australia and the UK that don't have Disney Plus.
Exactly. It's like they wanted to get the highest market for who would see Star Wars, and since it's basically Disney Plus, the Star Wars streaming service, because it's got all of Star Wars on it.
Yeah, and see,
Except
MGM
for
is talked. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Isn't The Last Jedi not on? Isn't that not on Disney Plus yet?
It's not because it's still on Netflix.
Yeah,
That's the other thing.
Solo and The Last Jedi. That's where I said they weren't thinking of the timing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they might have been. I think they thought they probably had this in the works a couple of years ago. For the past couple of years, this is why for 4 years, Ewan McGregor didn't know if Obi-Wan was going to be a show or a movie. This is why the Boba Fett movie was always talked about. But now we have basically the Boba Fett series, but it's not. But it's pretty much the Boba Fett series, and. This is why everything kind of seems so pieced together at last minute. This really feels like they dropped it 1 month before the Rise of Skywalker, just to get as much goodwill on the fans. Because look at everybody. Everybody's giving it glowing reviews, except for maybe me. But like Geeks and Gamers, Neurotic, Doomcock, everybody is pretty much, you guys, Andre, everybody are pretty much raving about Mandalorian. And it's getting a goodwill up again of Star Wars fans who are accused of just being haters. And
yeah,
it's very calculated.
At least it's getting a little better because these were the things I was looking for the other night. we haven't been getting as many of these. These aren't the official ones, but I guess we have a Daily Show. One of the few things the Daily Show has probably done funny.
I like that.
And then there was this one.
Oh, send me all those. I want to make a video about it. I gotta do a reaction video.
This one, Nemo.
Send me all of those, Tom. DM me that.
Okay.
I will. I'll send that to you.
Just say, the past 4 years those memes do not make up for the past 4 years of the Daily Show.
Exactly. I mean, I got called Mecha Trollface by Pablo Hidalgo. Well, he retweeted it, but still, I mean, we remember this shit.
All right.
But yeah, so this is a big thing going on here, and I think it really points to a couple things, and that is CBS All Access does not have as many subscribers as they're boasting because Paramount is fleeing to work with Netflix and all these other situations, and the Nickelodeon's trying to do its own thing. I don't see that working because you're adding yet another fuel, more fuel to this fire of the streaming wars. And
part of Sherry Redstone's thing was to reunite the companies and to make them profitable again. And Sherry Redstone doesn't give a flying flarn. She will cut CBS All Access loose in a heartbeat. You kidding me? Sherry Redstone is ruthless. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about if it was, and the fact that it was the brainchild of Les Moonves will give her all the more reason.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the funny thing about it is, I mean, the whole thing with like Star Trek and stuff, they went to Amazon with Picard because Amazon supposedly offered them more money. Well, you could also look at it as they were pissed still about STD. That's what we were hearing, and they weren't going to give them jack shit. As much as they wanted the show, they didn't want, to pay for the show up front again and have it be a piece of shit and because they had burnt their bridges and, Look at the just the whole situation is not looking good, no matter how they want to boast it through Parrot Analytics.
Anthony Rapp confirmed. He's like, yes, don't be mad at CBS All Access for not having like the short treks, for example. It's be mad because the streaming like Netflix UK didn't want them. These streaming services didn't want
so many
them.
words. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how I put it, but yeah, he basically confirmed what we reported and everybody said was bullshit. But we confirmed is that it is not up to Netflix or CBS or whatever if Netflix shows these things or not. It's up to them. That's why Netflix took them at the last minute, didn't pay for them, and put them in the trailers. That's where they stuck them because nobody really gives a shit about them. But
and
Rob,
was
there any more to this article? Because otherwise, this is a perfect transition to the short trek.
No, like I said, I'm just hoping Sherry Redstone comes in and come. I'm just hoping Sherry Redstone calls Alex Klutzman into her office at some point and says to him, "What the fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do to my show?" Just and then
it's on
I
her
want to
radar.
be in that room. Can I be in the room watching? Can I?
and then Crispin will be like, hamina.
I want to be there right behind her with my riding crop.
You're trying to do this and this and that and this and what about Walter Mosley? Well, and shut the fuck up.
Walter Mosley quit because of these crybaby little writers in the hostile, toxic work environment behind the scenes. These
Speaking
children,
of a hostile, toxic work environment, the short trek.
We watched the latest short trek.
Or should we say, what did I call it? The Kobayashi Boru?
The Kobayashi Boru, the Big Bang Theory short trek, where we just quote we just quote regulations at each other because that am Star Trek now.
Star Trek. Now I'll admit, it wasn't the worst of the short treks, probably the best.
It was the best.
But that's not saying much.
No.
You notice they had you notice though they had a woman of color standing up to the captain.
Yeah,
it could have been anybody, yeah, but they kind of made
one thing, Mecca, you did point out on your live show, and we got to give this episode credit for. Sorry to tap on the desk like Andre does. They are basically paying attention to the fuck ups they did with Mikey Spock. You noticed?
Yes. Because the fuck ups with Mikey Spock's. Oh yeah, well this is basically this girl was tested exactly the way Mikey Spock should have been tested. Because Mikey Spock, they took the they gave her like the most perfect set of situation to where she would snap and commit mutiny. Right. So basically they're setting up this new girl to test her. Okay, well, you were the last surviving people that were wiped out by Tholians, you and your husband. Now your husband's going to get wiped out by Tholians again. And, it's personal. And if you commit mutiny, we can save him possibly because you know better. And you're like the smartest and bestest and brightest. And you quote all these regulations at me and blah, 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 blah. But, she actually did the right thing, unlike Mikey Spock. And she's like, no, regulations are regulations. He knew what he was signing up for.
But Captain, you must listen to me because I am Mikey Spock and I will teach you how to be a better human if you don't listen to Mikey Spock. Because
why couldn't we have had a show about this girl? Why couldn't she have been Spock's half sister? She actually, as shitty as it is that they have another cadet in fucking on a ship. Okay, so she was a cadet and she's serving on a starbase, and then she's getting the Kobayashi Boru, trademark Tom, in to get a position on the Enterprise. It's like you're still a fucking cadet. You're in Starfleet. Go back to Starfleet. You don't just get a post on the thing. This isn't your unpaid internship. It could, your first year officers are not unpaid interns, and I don't know if that's what they're mistaking it for.
I'm not 100% certain, but wouldn't they put you on? Wouldn't it make more sense to give cadets a certain amount of training hours on a training vessel?
Yeah, give you like a training vessel.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Speaking of training, should I bring this in, Mecca?
Why not?
The Alex Kurtzman tweet.
The indoctrination center. Yay, we can infiltrate them. See, this is my plan. I've got a video coming sometime whenever I have time to upload it. It's on Patreon right now.
How long would it take me to undermine his authority?
1 second. They're
And
advertising for unpaid interns.
they're broke.
I'm thrilled to
We need
announce
to hire people, and we can't pay you.
a new internship committed to expanding Gene Roddenberry's vision of a brighter, more diverse.
Well,
If it makes you feel any better, we'll call you ensign.
it was more diverse in the 90s. I'm pretty sure Voyager was more diverse, but whatever.
More.
Mm.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, they have 2 gay characters, though. That's why.
Well, look, there's Michelle Paradise. Now, should we follow both of them and just?
I was gonna say I probably should fucking follow them, shouldn't I?
I do. I follow both of them.
I see the shit anyway, but
just to annoy the shit out of them.
Yes. I think you already follow Alex Kurtzman.
I do. Maybe I don't know if I do yet.
I do now.
So yeah, they want some unpaid interns to preach about how diversity am good and white man bad, and
White
we need to be more inclusive.
bad. Half white man black. Old black man bad as well. Get it out of Star Trek.
But take a look though. Diversity am good. Whitey.
It's kind of like KK. She does all this shit, but out of 80 fucking movies that she's been a part of, not a single one has had a female director. Not one.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scream. For those
Well, no,
of you who have
because that would
earbuds,
make
I'm
her the-
apologizing.
No, because then she would be in competition. Then another woman would be taking
Yeah.
credit for her.
I love your theory on that. The whole
Naked
like
mole rat.
territorial thing. Well, no, yeah, there you go. Yeah, the whole thing with
Territorial.
can't allow any other women in the community that can challenge her.
Did
She'll
Gary say that?
You said that, yeah.
Gary might have said that, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's part of it was in an article.
Oh, okay.
And then the whole thing is now look, like you had like Kiri Hart and all these other people, but they're subordinate ones.
Yes.
They're there to serve
Speaking of,
her.
Ryan Johnson just hired Kiri Hart. So busy with her other job.
Good luck with that.
They're
Oh, for
fucking-
God's sake. He's still around.
Yes. Yes. And he's getting a trilogy still, or not. I mean, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out.
He ain't getting shit. Didn't you hear what Bob Iger said? There was a little asterisk next to it, and I'll tell you what the asterisk is. But he said all Star Wars movies are now being put on hiatus.
Yep. This is the last
Little
one.
asterisk.
Everything's going to streaming.
Yep, and the little asterisk next to it was unless your name is Kevin Feige.
Yes. See, they might let Ryan Johnson direct, 3 episodes of something, which would be a terrible idea.
Right. If he has any kind of like signed contract that actually guarantees this, which I don't think he does, because otherwise, why do you think it was so easy to get rid of D&D?
Yeah.
I
Even with
don't-
a signed contract, I mean.
Oh yeah, you've got ways out of it. That's where I've tried to say this. I don't know how many times. The power is always in the hands of the studios,
Mhm.
unless you're somebody like a Martin Scorsese or a
Well,
Steven
this is
Spielberg.
why so many people have to take their how many people take their record labels to court.
Well, that's because a lot of them get bad deals back in the day, and they didn't read the shit because they were so fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's where you can say I was taken advantage of because I was fed a bunch of drugs and forced to sign this shitty contract.
Or it was 19. It was 19, 20 years old, and I didn't understand.
Exactly. Well, even still, yeah, whatever way. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. But it's fucking Ryan Johnson, man.
Well, the music artists have found a way around that. They just self-produce their shit now. And that's what's going to happen to movies, is you're going to see a lot more. And I can't believe this new independent craze hasn't taken over yet, because I think the fan film has taken too much away from it. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy occasional fan films myself. But what I think the fan film has done has stumped the ability for these filmmakers who are talented to do their own thing and get their own audience out of their own thing instead of tagging it to a Star Wars fan film or a Star Trek fan film or a, a what have you,
Son of a monkey.
Because I mean, Kevin Smith has said it himself, like him or hate him. He said it'd be totally different if he had YouTube back when he did Clerks.
Well, the barrier now to film production is a lot lower.
That's what I'm saying is you can make a fucking movie for a couple $1,000 with your buddies on the weekends and make it look good and have effects that are almost, studio quality effects, studio quality equipment, almost to the point where nobody would know. I have seen so many shitty fucking movies that people have made that where it's like, I wish some of these guys who made these kick-ass fan films would just go make something good that would get its own attention on its own. I mean, because instead of doing a Darth Maul fan film, why don't you just come up with a character kind of like Darth Maul in a universe kind of like Star Wars? Come up with your own. Take a note from George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
He got
inspired from Flash Gordon.
He goes, you ain't gonna sell me Flash Gordon? Fine, fuck you. I'll make my own with hookers and blackjack
and Ewoks.
And Ewoks. And Yodas.
Yeah. Yeah, amen.
Screw you guys. Yeah, I can't do a good Bender.
Well, there've been other franchises like that too. What was
Raiders of the Lost Ark? Raiders. The only reason why Indiana Jones exists is because they wanted to do something. They wanted to do a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And George said to
Kingsman is like a Bond movie, only good. It's like a good fun. The first one, I haven't seen the second Kingsman yet.
Oh, for God's sake! Realm of the soundboard page is offline. Shit, I can't.
It happens from time to time.
I can't.
You have to use your talent and do impressions.
Hey, I've been working on mine, Rob. You better quit being so rusty.
Why
I use the soundboard because I can't do impressions.
Mr. Wolverine says, "Why does he say details on how to apply here? Too many twos." Because he's not.
Hello, peasants.
Because it's Alex Kurtzman, because he's got ADHD and he throws way too many lines and dialogue and every other goddamn thing and all this stuff. It's verbal diarrhea. That's what this last episode
kind of like this last
was.
Trek. Yeah, we're just a bunch of
gobbledygook. It was jibber jabber. I was watching it on my live stream. I'm like, shut up with your jibber jabber. This is Big Bang Theory jibber jabber, and I don't like it. It's just a bunch of verbal diarrhea just to fill a lot of lines of dialogue.
Who wrote
just a bunch of red lights and tilted fucking Dutch angles and I said, didn't I notice it? Like fucking Pike was looking a little pudgy.
Yeah,
it's me. I shouldn't talk.
Maybe Director Sanji Sanaka. Writers Brian Fuller did not write this. Created by Alex Kurtz. Created by Alex. No, 2 more credits. Oh, they just
they wrote the original STD. That's why. But next week's episode looks very interesting, doesn't it, Mecca?
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, the cartoon one with the tardigrade from Brian Fuller.
All right. Written by Kalinda Vasquez. Okay, let's see what else she's written. Okay,
so she's a double diversity.
Yes, Kalinda. Okay, she's written.
Where's your Wokemon thing at?
Yeah, where's your Wokemon? She's a double race Wokemon.
Yeah,
not double shiny.
Double shiny.
Well, that's what they are. Those when it's a race and a gender swap, it's a double shiny.
Somebody's gonna find a way to make that racist.
Well, that's what it is. It's a race and a gender swap.
Okay. All right.
Oh fuck.
Do you have it? You should have it. I know I have it on my soundboard. You should have it, Rob, because you recorded it.
Yeah, somewhere. Hold on. Double shiny.
Command training program in unpaid interns. Yeah, they can't afford to pay nobody. Nobody wants to work there anymore. When you got people like Walter Mosley walking out, I guarantee you decent fucking writers like fuck that show.
Here we go. I found it.
Double shiny, race and gender swap.
So
We need a Pokemon theme.
We gotta do more.
Pokemon, gotta collect them all. Come on, Rob, get out that electric guitar. And...
Mhm. We will work on
I
it
gotta
next
get
week.
Black Beauty out. You gonna make me do it?
go ahead.
I still gotta work on the shenanigans theme, for fuck's sake.
Okay, so Kalinda Vasquez, she has 8 writing credits. She's written Star Trek short treks, Ask Not. 2 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, where she's listed as writer.
Well, at least those are a little bit more
Yeah.
Aired, viewed.
well, not that, but at least more genre. This episode wasn't the fucking worst. We got
No.
It actually, there's moments where
It
it
is
felt
the
like a
best one.
Star Trek episode, but then somebody said earlier it was a ripoff of a TNG episode anyway, and that's probably why. Because they can't do anything that's original.
Well, there was an episode where Wesley Crusher had to undergo a psychic evaluation.
Evaluation. I like that.
Evaluation, yeah. Okay, she's written 2 episodes of The
Is that
Runaway.
like where you learn to talk valet talk?
Yes, it is.
That's where I learned. It was at USC, and it was at Evaluation 101 and 102.
Yeah, she's written Once Upon a Time, 11 episodes.
Yeah, that's more franchisey type thing.
See, the only problem I had with this, it was a little too much like Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, the dialogue
jabber.
sucked junk ass.
Yeah.
And the point of the episode is still fucking stupid, but it felt like generic Trek and you had Pike.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll give it those points, and that's about it. It wasn't the worst thing in the world.
It was probably the best of Star Trek Discovery. Had this been what we've gotten, this quality, I probably wouldn't be complaining too much.
Or if we even seen somebody like Mikey Spock go through something like this, we may be a little bit more on board with her.
Somebody
But-
challenge her.
Yeah.
Somebody
What was that?
challenge her. Present something that is going to be a challenge to Mikey Spock. Not that she just overcomes everything easily because she's awesome.
Well, yes,
Because
because it would be ist if you thought she could do something.
I totally saw her in my 3rd hour evaluation class.
She's hanging out with Brie Larson.
Yeah,
They're besties.
Brie is the queen of the class.
Oh my god! Speaking of Brie Larson, we had Brie Larson news. Did you see it? It was amazing.
What?
Hell no.
She ate a bug, and she
Oh,
she
that's
wants to be
so
Indiana
gross.
Jones. Oh, she was trying to be Indiana Jones, and she had to
Indiana
struggle
Jones.
so much with everything. And she's out there trying. It's all that thing I sent you, Rob. Remember? And then I made a video on it. It was hilarious. She was on the with Bear Grylls show. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. She's like, "Am I a brat? Does this mean I'm a brat?"
Well, you know why this is, Sean Strife? To answer his question here, a friend of mine told me my woke impression sounded like Valley Girl. Where do you think this shit originates from?
From rich Valley
Yeah,
girls.
rich white
too
girls.
much and
I am
too much.
offended because I'm white and I have everything, and I should be offended for everybody.
And
Daddy,
it's all
be
the ugly little
offended for
girls.
me.
See, and it's all the ugly little girls who want to be Kim Kardashian.
You know how
Who
Brie
go around
Larson
quoting
got
her.
into movies? Daddy, I want to be in movies. That's about it.
Okay.
No, it's Daddy. I want to be a pop star.
Well,
Daddy, I wanna be,
Okay.
well, that was what I wanted to be last week, Daddy. You forgot. That was last week. That's why I want to be in movies.
but,
I wanna make a
Brie,
unicorn.
you have no talent.
I don't care. I want to make a movie about a unicorn.
I don't have negative energies.
I don't need these negative thoughts from an old white dude. Thank you very much, Daddy.
But Brie, I'm your father. I raised you.
I know
Yeah.
it's your fault I'm here. So you're like responsible for my dream. And I want to make a movie about a unicorn. It's a metaphor.
But
And
Brie,
it's gonna have Samuel Jackson in it.
but Brie, unicorn.
Because I'm not a racist.
Brie? What does unicorns wanting a unicorn have to do with being racist?
You just don't get it.
No,
You're
I
too
don't.
old, and you don't understand what I'm trying to do here. You're just okay, boomer.
Boomer. I'm a boomer.
Just shut up, daddy, and give me the money. And if
Bree,
you don't give me the money, I will go sleep with everybody in Hollywood.
Bree, I've only given you money for a new job. I mean, how much more do you want?
I will do by myself. I'm already working on it. I just want to be people.
but Bree, you are a person.
No, daddy, I'm not. Not unless you give me the money to make a movie. About the unicorn.
Gee, $2, 60th anniversary Twilight Zone this week. Yeah. Oh, speaking of anniversaries, hold on.
She needs to represent. She needs to use her white privilege to represent those poor, underemployed Black women everywhere.
Yes, like totally. Yes, Whitey needs to die.
You're white.
No, just the white man. Girlfriend.
But I'm a white man. Why would you
Shut up, daddy, and give me the money. The quicker you die, the faster I have your money. And it won't be long, and I'll have some King Kong money, and I won't need you because I'll have Captain Marvel money. They're going to give me $5 million.
But Bree,
to ruin the
$5 for what exactly?
To ruin the MCU. It's a plan.
It's to get some diversity and representation.
It's to get some diversity and get me some cocaine.
But what about? Wouldn't it be more diverse if you had Monica Rambeau as the Captain Marvel?
No, Rambeau is too toxic. But
she's an African American woman.
Ooh. Are you talking about the lady I made out with in my trailer?
No, the one playing your daughter.
You made out with a lady
because I'm not racist. So I told my assistant to get me a Black lady to make out with because it's a metaphor for me not being racist.
And that proves you're not making
I'm
out
not
having
an
interracial lesbian.
I don't care what racial they are, as long as they're beautiful like me and not white.
Oh, do you mind that LaShawn? Do you mind that Lashana Lynch always has a duh face and always has her mouth hanging open?
Yeah, it's easier to put my dick in it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, here, hold on.
Yeah, because you don't want to put it where. Yeah.
Tom, recently Ryan Johnson held auditions for his next movie.
I'm in it.
Yes, and actually, I have some of the auditions. There's some dialogue from his potential stars of his next movie.
Shut up, bitch! It's gonna be me. I'm gonna star in it. Ryan Johnson, I will totally tug your Johnson if you let me in your movie. That's right. It's a metaphor.
What the hell? Does he even like girls?
I don't know,
but I'm gonna.
I thought he was just an asexual Eric Cartman.
Is Ryan? That's a good question. Ryan Johnson. Let's look at Ryan Johnson.
Is he married?
You want to know the truth? I tried to fuck him once to get into the movie Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and guess what? I'm not in Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
He's in a long-term relationship. Several of Ryan Johnson's fans have wondered if he's married or dating anybody. He isn't married, but he's in a romantic relationship. Yeah, with himself.
Didn't you hear what I said?
Partnered like Emma Watson.
You need to read between the wine.
Drunk 3PO, $4.99.
Who's he self-partnered with? Just himself, I suppose. So who's he dating? Now I'm curious.
Mecca changed my stream because you talked about her tatas. It was glorious.
You know who? Oh, you don't know his wife is in The Last Jedi. I've actually got her. She's got a cameo.
Really?
You don't remember seeing her?
No.
This is her on the.
yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Sweet.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
That was perfect timing.
All right. We're off the rails.
So he's got a wonderful start.
So yeah, this
So
new short trek was crap as usual,
Oh yeah,
but the best of the crap. So
crap is still crap. I mean, the best crap is not something a well polished turd that you don't want to aspire to be that.
Why, you dirty motherfucking cocksucking piece of shit?
Calm down, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan's on Twitter again.
What's he doing?
Tree hugging hippie. You butt licker.
do I need my Ryan Johnson thwacker?
All right, that's enough. Corral him back in.
This guy.
That's right. Mecca's gonna get you.
Dodo. Stop it, Dodo.
Well, I'll go back into your little fucking cubby hole thing.
You're gonna stop hitting me.
Well, then go back in there and shut the fuck up.
That hurt, you butt licker.
Well, go watch The Last Jedi. Get ready for your Knives Out premiere and leave us the fuck alone.
Turkey's there.
Oh, is that a threat?
I think it was.
Hey, not bad, huh?
Feisty.
That'll teach you not to listen to authority.
Well, he thinks he's getting all big and bad just because Knives Out comes out. Well, you watch your little movie tank at the box office. You're lucky you got it prepaid for, buddy.
Is it gonna tank? I hope it tanks.
Who's gonna go see this fucking thing? Ford versus a Ferrari is gonna run away with the weekend.
I think Charlie's Angels is going to do better than expected.
And Charlie's Angels has been getting a lot. Yeah, Charlie's Angels has been getting a lot of it's stupid, but it's harmless fucking kind of reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So who the fuck's gonna go see this movie? What is the draw? Captain America and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, oftentimes if you have a shit movie,
I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Don't get me wrong, but
And my mom will see it. She'll be like, "Oh, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it."
they'll wait for video. They're not gonna go see it in the theater, are they? Your
lot of
mom's
times-
gonna go
My
see
mom
it.
and I had a tradition of Thanksgiving and Christmas. We do movies, so a lot of
a
people.
lot of
have that.
times you'll try to save a movie through casting, and I think that's probably what they tried to do here.
No, he just wanted to make Clue.
That's all it is. I mean, I really do think the audience is smart enough to look at it and go, "Wait a minute, this is just Clue, Ray Do." I have not really heard anybody talk about it outside of these critics who are sucking Ryan's balls. Where is anybody talking about this movie?
No, my mother wouldn't know it exists.
Nobody's talking about it.
Outside of these critics who are just all over it because
Did
it's
you
all
see he went to a film school and it was like mostly empty, where he was doing a talk about the movie.
100 people showed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
out of how many people?
That was like 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a shame. He's such a talented filmmaker. Why? Why is it such a shame? If Ryan Johnson disappeared from show business, from filmmaking, nobody would bat an eye. And
Well, here's how I know it's going to fail. Oh, go ahead, Rob. Finish.
And I was about to say, for the people who say, "Oh no, Ryan Johnson's brilliant director," have you seen Looper or Brick? He made 2 fucking movies. Shut up.
This is the problem. You have enough people that are pissed off about The Last Jedi who are going to actively avoid this movie like the fucking plague.
Yep.
And then the other half, I don't think are really going to give a shit. I don't think there's anything that appealing about it when there's movies like Ford versus Ferrari out there. And here's the thing, Mecca.
Yeah, I'd probably take my mom to see that instead.
You might, but here's the thing: if you're somebody who's got like your dad or what, like my dad would be a perfect fucking audience for this movie.
Or
Okay, and
girls
a
who
lot
like
of times,
Christian Bale, girls who like who's in it.
and a lot of times you ask any woman, it's hard to get the old guys to go out to a movie, but you put something like this or fucking Midway in the theaters like they did last weekend at the proper time, and they will get off their duffs and go see these movies. That's why Ford versus Ferrari is going to have a $50 million fucking weekend. You fucking watch. And the same thing happened with Midway, and that's why the fucking Danny movie from The Shining, Dr. Sleep, which is piss poor title. I still agree with that. I don't know whoever said that, I can't remember now. But piss poor title for the movie. I think it was Annie Trecker. That movie should have opened up the week before over Halloween. You dumb shits. What the fuck were you thinking? I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
You don't put a horror movie after Halloween.
Well, not only that, the first movie it starts on Halloween.
Yep.
That's the whole reason they moved it from the book. In the book, the season ends in September, but in the book, they make sure it ends right on Halloween. So the first night they show up is on Halloween, just to make it extra creepy. So anyway, or did I say the book? I meant the movie, but either way, you know what I'm saying. Regardless, I'm on a fucking tangent and we got a super chat. Did we miss one from earlier yet too, or did we get to that one? We got to that one, I think.
David Morris, £2. Bed at 8 p.m. Up 1:30 in the morning. Everyone is streaming. Yeah, that's because
it's because you're overseas. Yeah, sorry about that. We're just about done here. We've been ranting and raving long enough, I think. Was there anything else we had to add to this?
Well, I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to go see movies on Thanksgiving, and if there's nothing on, what opens Thanksgiving? What, Frozen 2?
Well, that's people are a lot of air out of the room.
Well, yeah, but the only people who are going to see Frozen 2 are people under 30, right? And grandparents.
I was going to say I wouldn't count that movie out necessarily.
Oh, no. It's going to do gangbusters, but I'm saying don't count these little movies out as being like the good second choices once Thanksgiving rolls around.
Because the first one's been Disney's biggest breakout hit in years. So.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like these movies are going to pick up. Like Frozen 2 is not going to be just. You're going to have a lot more people going to the movies on Thanksgiving. Because that's always tradition. It's always packed Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. It's one of the only things that's open. So
I think Frozen
you're going to have it's going to be number one. Frozen will be number one. It'll be packed, absolutely. But all the other people who don't normally go to movies and do like once a year are going to go see all these other little movies, like all these second choices, and maybe even Joker. Maybe if Joker's still in some of these theaters, people are still going to go see that. Because like Charlie's Angels, I'm going to see Charlie's Angels over Frozen 2 if I'm going to see a movie Thanksgiving, or I'll see the Ford versus Ferrari or something. I'm not going to see Frozen 2, and there's a lot of people who just don't care, and they're like, oh, it's a little Disney princess movie, who cares? So you're gonna have a lot of more people in the theaters just in general who are just gonna be like, nope, second choice movie because holiday.
I think, if we're going by next weekend with Frozen 2 in the mix, Knives Out's getting buried.
Yep.
And as far as the rest, I think it's going to be like Frozen, Ford versus Ferrari, Midway, Joker, and then there's going to probably Charlie's Angels are coming.
Going to do better than I think.
Right before Joker, and it might do a little bit better, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. I don't know if the audience is necessarily there, despite if it's not that bad. I'm just really not sure because I don't even know if the last one did that great. I know the first one did, but I don't know about the second part.
It's a chick flick. That's who it's for. It's for the 40-year-old women who might not want to go and see little kid movies.
Yeah, but has the dust even really settled on the last one?
I don't know. When did they make a last one?
I want to say the second one would have come out at least 2000. It'd been about 10 years ago, probably.
Because I never
2009, 2008. I didn't like them, but I know the first one made a lot of money, and I think maybe the second one did all right, but.
I don't know. You might get a lot of people my age who liked the first ones too, going to check that out. Who were just a little too old for the Disney princess stuff. I don't know.
Never know. We'll have to see, I guess, how it plays because it comes out this weekend.
No matter what, I'm saying Frozen 2 will be number one. So.
Oh yeah, Frozen 2 is going to make so much bank.
Frozen is crack for for kids. I mean,
Yeah, and it's well timed. They've kept it in the. This is the thing that Disney was smart about this as opposed to Avatar. They knew it was going to be a little bit before they could get Frozen 2 to the market because it takes a little longer to make animated films like that. So they made sure there was a couple shorts, and I think it wasn't even a holiday special or something like that last year or something. I know there was something else to where they've been keeping it relevant to the kids long enough that this movie's going to do well.
And so many girls who like the Disney stuff still kind of stay childish. I mean, is that the right word?
It
Still
does
stay
have,
into
that's
the
the other
kids
thing I was going to bring up. That does have an adult crowd that's going to go to see this movie
Yeah,
too.
they
Don't,
like the kiddie
don't
stuff.
pretend.
No. But yeah, I
didn't think Frozen was all that great. I compared it to the Eddie Murphy reference when you haven't had sex forever and your girlfriend finally gives us what's the best in the world. It's just like when you're starving and someone gives you a cracker. It's the same thing here. Disney movies have sucked so bad for so long that they finally put out something that wasn't shit.
That's the Mandalorian. That's the Mandalorian.
And that could be the same thing with the Mandalorian too. That's true.
That's exactly what the Mandalorian is. It's the best that we've gotten in so long. Because people still defend the prequels. They're not that great. They're good enough, but they aren't that great.
I mean, yeah, there's people that have rose tinted glasses when it comes to the prequels because we have a video I'm working on now that goes back deep into that time period. Guess what, folks? There was just as many, if not more, episode 1 toys on the shelves collecting dust in clearance bins as there is now. They had the same problem to the point where nobody wanted to sign on for episode 2. But they came back around for episode 3. Well, that was because they could slap Darth Vader on everything. But anyway, that'll be in part of that video. So,
Speaking of which,
I got to finish writing that motherfucker, Rob, and then we got to edit it.
I saw a video like that, all the untold Star Wars stuff.
It's kind of like that, but it's a little bit more in depth of what it's more about is how George worked better with others. And it'll highlight Gary Kurtz and Marsha Lucas.
Oh, I don't think anybody doubts that.
And then, well, I know. And it'll just get a little bit more into that. And then it'll kind of come back around with the Rise of Skywalker now. And obviously with Mandalorian, we know for a fact he's consulted on that. So it'll be more like, is this what they should have done all along? Is even though sold it to him, they should have allowed him to consult, which is what he wanted to do in the first place. Is that would have been a better process, probably. Anyway, we're getting into it. I got to edit it anyway. So
this is whatever this is. This guy's name is. I can't remember.
Wreck-It Ralph was a couple years after Frozen, wasn't it? And Tangled did okay, but Tangled wasn't at the same level as their classic shit. That I will argue.
You guys, $5 from This Is This. You guys don't know him, but Dan DiDio, one of the heads of DC Comics, is behind some of the crappy decisions of DCU. I'm familiar with Dan DiDio. It's Dan DiDio, DC Comics. How's it going? Dan DiDio, DC Comics. Yeah. Buddy of mine went to.
We did get a super chat.
Yeah, buddy of mine went to a convention. Dan DiDio was there. Hey Dan, he said, "Hey Dan, how's it going?" He was walking away from. We talk about we talk about you all the time on our podcast. Dan turns around. I bet you do.
He's trying to get him on. No. Anyway.
Yeah, Dan DiDio is the Ryan Johnson of DC Comics. Yeah, Dan DiDio's not right.
I suppose. Why don't we bring this to a near pause, at least, and call it a night, because I've been on 2 streams back to back, and so have you, Rob. And I think Mecca was on just before we went live, before she was on, and I don't know if you're showing up on Shenanigans or not, but we got that coming up too. So I need about 10 minutes just to pee and think for like myself.
Right. Well, okay. Well,
more information than we needed.
Subscribe here. Okay, subscribe on the main channel. Mecca, tell them about your channel.
I'm Mecca Random 42. Watch my stuff all the time. Just leave it in the background and just play the videos. Buy my merch, Patreon, etc., etc. I have Twitch and all the things.
All right. Everybody, like, subscribe to everybody. Check out our friends. We'll check you out next time.
I'm gonna drink till I reboot. Ben Shakira.
Do I have the finger?
I like big Asian butts, and I